Alright, so in today's video, I want to go over what role should you play, because there's just so many operators, there's so many people to choose from, and it can definitely be confusing if you don't know what is your best role. So I want to talk about all the roles that are very important and just help you decide which one suits you best. But if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, but let's get into it. Alright, now I want to start off with the IGL role, but before we get into this, I just want to go over the main roles. I would say I have them written down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say there's 5 main roles that you're going to see in ranked a lot, that you're going to use in ranked a lot, and there's some more that are more technical, more for comp, and we'll get into those too, but I want to go over the main ones, such as IGL, entry, support, flex, roam, and then we'll go into the other ones after that. But starting off with IGL, when it comes to IGL, basically stands for in-game leader. Now, you don't really have to play a specific op for this. Like, if I'm playing with some of my friends who are not as good, I guess you would say, I'll be IGL, but I'm still hopping on Ashe. If I'm playing in comp or anything like that, I might be on Ace for IGL. I might be on Lion for IGL. The whole point of the in-game leader is you're going to be the most vocal person, and you're going to be the one constantly making the calls. You may be like, all right, guys, we're attacking top floor right here. You're going to be the one to say to your team, okay, what do we want to use for this attack? If we're attacking top floor, let's bring a hard breach. Let's bring something for flank watch. Let's bring something to clear utility, right? Then say the round starts. You guys go. You tell people where they should be at, what type of push you want to go for. Hey, let's have one person go main window, have one person go attic, have one person take armory control, and then the rest of us push master bedroom, right? Then mid-round, you're going to be the one to make calls. Let's say, like, your teammate dies inside attic. You're like, oh, yo, let's not even go for attic. Instead, let's rotate. Let's just go for a main push, get the wall up, and go for a default plant spot, right? You're going to be the ones going to be constantly making calls mid-round and before the round, and even if you die. Now, if you want to know if you should do this role, I feel like the person who, I don't want to say is the smartest in the lobby, but the person who could be vocal and smart and is okay with not doing the greatest, right? Like, you're going to put your team first. If you look at somebody like Canadian, for example, in Pro League, I think he has like a .9 KD in Pro League, but he's looked at as one of like the GOATs because he's one of the best IGLs in the game. Like, when you IGL, you're more focused on your team doing stuff than you doing your type of stuff. So you don't necessarily have to be the best player to IGL. A lot of the times, the best player is not the IGL. He's on the fragger role or the entry role, which we'll get to soon. So you don't have to be the best player in the gun skill category to do this role. So do not worry if you want to do this role. Just know if you have the knowledge, if you can kind of understand how the game works, like what to counter, be like, hey, yo, let's Ashe the shield right here where the guy's playing, then we can take this, and then let's go for a default plant right here, and then, like, if you could, like, think 3D, like, right, like, looking down like a chess piece, if you can be, like, that type of player and you understand the game a lot, you can IGL. You have to be vocal, though. You can't be a mute. Now, it does not mean that nobody will ever make a call out, like, your teammates are going to be like, yo, we should do this, and you don't listen to them. It just means, generally, you're going to be the one to speak up and say everything. Now, certain roles will apply to the same thing as defense. Like, on defense, you're going to have a support role. On attack, you're going to have a support role. You're going to have flex on defense, flex on attack. You're going to have roam on defense, but not roam on attack. Instead, it will be something kind of called a Lurk. So we're going to talk about defense too, but for this next one, I want to talk about entry is basically the fragger role, essentially. Like, you're going to be the first person to enter into the building. A teammate might drone you in. Like, you might have a support player drone you in. And before we go any further for what you're going to do for this, let's just look at some of the ops that you might see on entry. You might see a striker, an Ashe, a Twitch, IQ, Buck, Ion, really anybody that's not somebody who's going to get the wall like a Thatcher or Hard Breach, or somebody who's going to do flank watch like Gridlock or Nomad. Because anybody else you could really enter with, generally. Because, like, as long as, like, your importance of you dying is not the end of the world, then that's fine. Like, you don't want to have the ace go in and entry, and then he dies, and then the entire round is chalked because you wanted to entry with ace. But generally, if I'm taking entry, a lot of times you'll see me on Ashe. So let's talk about this, and then we'll decide if this role is for you. So now, what is my job as the entry? Simply, like I said, we're going to enter first into the building. I'm Ashe. My IGL says, hey, we're going to go for this top floor take. Let's take master bedroom, do whatever, right? I am going to have my ace, my support player, drone me in. Now, he is going to drone me in for wherever I'm going. I'm going to follow up off that drone. This will allow me to take the map control really quick. Because if I'm the one droning, and let's say I drone somebody and they are inside of armory right here, by the time I get off of my drone out there or my drone down there and then come and try and kill this guy, he could be anywhere. Whereas if I'm following up off this drone, he drones in here, he goes, oh, he's in armory, I can immediately act off that information as the entry player. So your entry player, like I said, you're going to be the first one in the map, as well as you're just going to be the first one to kind of just like be the best player, the best gun skill you're going to put on this player. Like if you look at your stack, you are going to put the person who has the best aim and generally the best decision making in the game or in the stack on this role. I go on this role when I play. For the most part, I like to play this role. Generally, I can play flex, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is good, meaning I can really play anybody. But I thrive in the entry role. I like to be the first one in. I hate playing super slow and having to worry about my life like an ace. So if you can win your gunfights, follow up off a drone, and understand the game, because what I say by understand is my IGL says, hey, we need to clear this shield right here for somebody right here, right? Let's say like this wall is completely reinforced. We need to clear the shield, right? I ash the shield, and I'm not just gonna walk in like a fucking idiot. That doesn't mean, no, you're the first one in sight, let's just walk in like a dunce. No. You have to understand aggression, understand when to play passive, but just know when it's time to push into the site, you're going to be the first one to do it. So should you play this role? Ask yourself, do you have good aim? Do you understand the game well? Can you listen to an IGL? Listen to the IGL part doesn't really matter as much if you're not like in a stack. But if you're solo queuing, can you hit your shots? Do you have good aim? And do you understand when to get passive, when to get aggressive? If you do, this role might be for you. Alright, now for the support role on attack, which we'll get to for defense later. We're just doing attack roles right now. What is support? Then we'll talk about if you should be the one to play it. Now, a lot of people give support players shit. They will automatically think, oh, put the worst player on support. In reality, that's not really the case, because if you watch any pro league, people are nasty on support. They have some of the nastiest aims. A lot more that goes into it. But generally, if we're being real here, yes, you're going to put probably the worst player in your stack on a support role. Because you're going to think, okay, here's why. Because if I'm not going to put the player who has shitty ass aim on Ash. I'd rather take Ash and just have them go like Thatcher Thermite so that they can get the wall and then I can frag out. But in reality, as a support player, as a good support player, you've got to understand so much. There's so much more that just goes into open the wall. One, you have to understand how the fuck to open the wall. Way too often, bro, I will see people, they will throw one ace right here, right like this. And be like, oh, okay, this is good. Let me just walk in, this is good, right? Whereas, at a higher level, you understand that if you have the ace, like, if you have extra aces, if you're just going for this wall, generally, you want to make sure that you make your aces walkable. Because if you can walk in through your ace, it'll make it so much easier to contest people, it'll help your entry walk in, it will help other people walk in. But not only do you have to get the wall open, you have to understand so much. One, you have to understand all the default plant spots as a support player on attack. You have to understand, okay, I have to go for a plant right here behind the bomb chassis if, let's say we're attacking the site. At the same time, you have to make sure that you're the one saying, hey, I'm going to go for that plant. Is there anyone playing below to C4? Is it clear? Or you have to think of this default plant spot, right? You have to decide where you should plant. Are you clear to sprint here and expose yourself here? Or is it smarter to just walk in right here and go for a plant like this in this default plant spot? So you have to know a lot about specific spots. On top of that, you have to learn to play a lot slower, right? Like with the entry role, you're going to be very fast paced. You're going to be really not worrying about dying. When you're on support, you have to worry about dying in the fact of you don't want to be the first one in. You want to be the one droning people in. So you also have to be a good droner. What do I mean by that? If I'm outside, like waiting for my Thatcher or waiting to help my team drone in, I'm going to be the one who drones my Ash into the map, right? I'm going to be like, all right, I'm up top. You know, I can't die first anyway. I got to wait to get the wall open. I'm going to drone out stockroom. But you have to be a good droner if you're a support player, because you can't lazy drone. Like, I can't drone in and be like, all right, Ash, yep, this is all clear. You can walk in, right? And then the Ash walks in and somebody's playing right here waiting to swing based off of audio, right? So you have to be good at droning and droning stuff that will help your teammate. Don't mind this bomb side. I don't even know why it's here. I can't change it. But I would say it's definitely a much easier role to play, but you are going to die more because you're going to be the one that's going to run in and go for a plant where you might get C4. Somebody might swing you. Somebody might do that. So you'd be okay with that. And generally, I would put the not as good gun skill or game knowledge player on support role, but don't bash somebody for being a support player because one, everyone needs it. The pros that play on support are nasty. Like, it's not a bad role to play. Just somebody has to play it, and you have to be generally good at droning and understanding map control and stuff like that. But I would put the person with the lesser gun skill on this role rather than any other role. So should you play this role, ask yourself everything I just showed you. And if you're solo queuing, do you want to win the damn game? Because I promise you nobody's going to bring support. So the amount of times that I will hop my ass on ace because nobody wants to bring support. Trust me, I know. But if you're a more slow player, this role is for you. And it's not a bad role at all. Somebody needs to play it. All right, now what is a flex player? Then we're going to go over to the defensive side of things. But on attack, a flex player, just initially, it might be something like, oh, we need a flank watch. Somebody hop on Gridlock or hop on Nomad. They're going to be the flex player here. But at the same time, it's also going to be somebody who can fill in any role. What do I mean by this? If we are playing and we already have a Thatcher, a Thermite, and an Ashe Sentry. We're like, oh, we need somebody to play a Twitch this round for the Goyos or the Mirrors. You hop on Twitch. The next round, we need somebody to play Flores for the shields to destroy him downstairs in Bunker. You hop on Flores. You're the type of player that can generally play any role when needed. So, like, a flex player is going to be somebody that understands the game a lot and is also good with really any operator. Like, I would consider myself more of a flex player, yes. I thrive more at the entry role. But if I need to play an ace, I can play an ace. If I need to play a Gridlock, I can play a Gridlock. So this is going to be, like, on attack, somebody who can do anything. You're going to flex. You're flexible. You can play any role, really. And you're just going to fill in the roles. Like I said earlier, if we have an entry player, we have somebody who is dedicated to Thermite, dedicated to Thatcher when needed, dedicated to Flank Watch. You're just there to fill in whatever role or whatever operator you need for that attacking round. Now, there are some more attacking roles as well. We're going to talk about those later. Those are the more complex ones. But the basic ranked ones, those are all the ones we covered. But now I want to talk about defense, roaming. Just off the rip, when you look at an operator that's going to roam, you're going to be looking for an operator that can generally be fast. Like, you're not going to fucking roam with Maestro because you're slow and loud. Plus, you want to make sure, on top of that, it's not an operator that is better on site. Like, for example, Maestro. You're going to want to be alive so you can use those turrets, not get first picked. Or somebody like Smoke, where you're going to want to use those smokes. Smoke's you can kind of come off site a little bit, but generally you're going to want to be on site. Or somebody like Echo, but you're going to be somebody who can be fast and can get around the map. So somebody like even Bandit, Jaeger, Valk, Cav. The main thing you're going to want to look at in a roamer is just going to be impacts, honestly. You want to get around that damn map, or C4s, and I like to be fast. So I'm going to take somebody, let's say in this instance, like Vigil. Now I want to talk about what the roamer's job is, and then talk about if you should be the one to play it. So now when it comes to roaming, your job is going to be definitely harder. And you may notice the same person that plays the entry player, like the Ashe on attack, might play the Vigil or the roaming player, because you want to have the person who has the best aim on this role, because they're going to be taking so many gunfights. Like, they might be roaming, and there'd be 4 people pushing them at once, just droning them out and pushing them. So you're not going to have, like, a shitty player at bad aim on this role. You're going to have the better player on this role, for the most part. But what is your goal as the roamer? Your goal is to waste as much time as you can. Your goal is not to get as many kills as you can. It's waste as much time as you can and get as many kills as you can while wasting time. If that makes sense. And as for where to go when you're roaming, you're going to go where the attackers are going to want to take. Now, there is different types of roams, right? But generally, like, if we're defending downstairs, they're going to take bar. So I can play in here. I can play inside lounge. My main goal is to just deny map control. Don't let them take map control. And if they start taking map control, try and get a pick. But once again, we want to waste as much time. So, like, I don't need to hold this right here. I can either get a pick, shoot somebody, or fall back and make them push me. Your goal is to waste as much time as you can. I might throw an impact right here like this, because now I can watch the hatch, I can watch the window, I can watch if they walk in from here. And obviously, they want to take kitchen. So, once again, we're going to be denying map control. But I also help myself waste time, because there's a hole above, and now they know, okay, well, we have to clear that up top. So now they're going to drone me out. Now they're going to try and push me out, right? I'm just wasting more time. So should you play this role? Is this role for you? It's going to determine if you have good gun skill, you have good map knowledge, and you're not afraid to take gunfights. As well as understand that you don't have to force gunfights. You just want to waste time. Get better at wasting time. Now, I will say something about roaming. This would not be considered roaming. Like, I would still consider this sitting on site. Like, you'll notice people sit here with smoke shotgun and play these steps right here. This is not roaming. Yes, it's not on site directly, but it's like not roaming. Because you're not running around the map wasting time. You're still playing and denying map control to site. Now, for the support role on defense, this could be a ton of different operators. It's generally just going to be somebody who's going to sit on site, somebody who's not going to be roaming. Doc, for example, smoke, for example, stuff like that, right? Your main goal as a support player is generally going to be to hold down site, to hold down close to site, whether you're like playing right here, right? Along with setting up site, making the rotates, making the head holes, making the feed holes. That is going to be your main job as the person who is playing support. Do you always put the worst player on support? I will say yes, I will put the worst player on support. But playing support, once again, does not mean you're the worst player. Somebody needs to play support, bro. Somebody has to. You need somebody to sit in sight. You need somebody to do that. You could be a great player in sight. Along with make sure you're the one that when the round starts, you are going on cameras after you set up the site. You are hopping on cameras to see where they are pushing from. You can communicate with your roamers. Be like, oh, look, they're all pushing junkyard side. They might be going for a main window push. They might be coming in through shower side. This will help your roamer go to where these people are. I would put the player who is not the best on support just because it's much easier. You're literally just going to be sitting in sight and just holding angles on doors. So you don't really have to worry about like your positioning nearly as much as somebody who's roaming is. So it's definitely a lot easier of a role to play. So I feel like if you fall into the category of not the greatest player in your stack, but you can understand how to help your teammates, you can understand how to play more passive, because we're not going to fucking take smoke or doc or maestro and start roaming. So you can understand how to play passive and hold angles and wait for them to push you. I would go on the defensive role. Along with the fact, like, just sometimes I like to play support roles too. I just chill inside. It's nice. And sometimes you just like the operator. Like, if I like playing doc, I'll just take doc. I like playing doc. Who doesn't like using an MP5 with an ACOG? There is nothing wrong with playing support. You can have a great aim and play support. Once again, look at Pro League. Some of the best players, like DZ, like it's NJR as a support player. He's one of the best players on that team, bro. He is nasty, but he's on a smoke support role. He's so good. Now, what about the flex role for defense? I'm not going to waste our time. It's generally the same exact thing as attack. If I look and we're like, okay, we're going to go for a downstairs organ hold. Let's have somebody bring a shield with Warden and Jaeger. Then let's have somebody bring Cade. And then let's have somebody bring a Malusi. What do we need more of? Oh, we need barbed wire. All right, you're the flex player. Go play somebody with barbed wire. We need somebody to bring a shield. Play somebody with a shield. We need somebody to bring a bandit or a Cade. Go bandit or Cade, right? Like the flex player, you're going to basically just fill in roles that you need to fill in. So what would qualify you for this role? Just attack. You can understand how to play certain operators or most operators, then you can easily be a flex player. Some people who are generally new are going to stick to one operator or not be as good on another operator. So they wouldn't fall into that flex category. For example, if somebody says, hey, we need somebody to play smoke, but you're the fucking worst smoke player in the world, yeah, don't hop on smoke. This role's not for you, buddy. Like, you start throwing all your smokes at once and then it's chalked. Like, the person who's going to play flex is going to be the person that understands operators at their fullest and can be good with those weapons, understand how to play. Like, if I take smoke shotgun, I understand how to play close to a wall, when to swing with it, when to throw my smokes. At the same time, I understand how to play somebody like two brow, when to throw the two brow, right? So if you could understand about all the operators, you can generally be a flex player. Now, what is another attacking role that is more of a comp role, but you can still do it in ranked? It's going to be somebody who is lurking. What does this mean? Now, imagine, as a lurker, you're going to be the person that is going to basically entry on your own, away from your team. Like, if we're attacking top floor, and my entire team is pushing cigar lounge, taking cigar shop, and they're all going for this push, I might solo push up bottom white and just wait here. Just kind of sit here, wait for defenders to rotate, wait for gaps to open up. How would a gap open up? My teammates are all pushing this way, and we get a call like, oh, this whole area is now clear. People are now trying to contest everybody that's going for that push. I might just walk up white stairs, take a gap, start killing people, right? Because everybody has gone from focused on all these areas to now mainly focused on these areas where my teammates are all pushing from. So like imagine your teammates as a distraction and you're playing off them while they're distracting somebody else. You're gonna be lurking, just waiting. You're not gonna be like immediately having to rush. You're gonna be waiting for the right time for a gap to open up. Like, oh, they killed somebody top white. Perfect. Now I'm gonna walk right up here solo, and then boom, start cooking. Definitely one of the harder roles to play because you have to understand how to not just sit down here and bait my team while my entire team dies and I'm just like waiting here for no reason. You're gonna be playing off your team yet very far away. Now another more complex role would be something like holding somebody's cut. What is that? Like you might see me on Habana right now and think, oh, wouldn't this be a support role? No. Yes and no. Because look at this, right? If we're attacking top floor and I Habana this right here, I am now holding my teammates across. So you might send somebody across the map to play here while your team goes for a push all the way in main lobby or main square all the way down there. And they're going for that push. I'm just sitting right here holding this. Like I said, these are more like complex roles, situational roles, depending on what your attack is and what you're going for. You're not really going to do this all the time in ranked. It's just something you see more in comp. But like really, it's going to be situational. Because in this situation, you're going to need somebody like a Habana to do this. But in this situation right here, I can do this with anybody. I can shoot open this window and hold this person's cut or cross to where nobody can cross here without me seeing. Right? But I can play any operator for this one. So like this is not really going to be operator based all the time. Like anybody can do this one, whereas the other one is going to be like mainly just Habana can do that because the wall's going to be reinforced obviously on bank. But the role of somebody on a cut is just to hold like a cross, imagine, or like watching a flank, or like just stopping people from being able to go into a certain area while your team is doing something else. Like if they were roam clearing this guy right here inside master bedroom and I'm holding this right here, I know that he has to be over there or else I would have seen him. Now there are some more technical ones like a bridge. I'm just gonna explain real quick. A bridge is like if I'm playing on defense. Yeah, and we're defending top floor, and we have somebody playing top red. Somebody in cash room, somebody in construction, somebody in rafters, and there's like that bridge player is just gonna be the person that goes around and like helps those players. Like, oh, they're actually going for a garage take. All right, let me go help you here. Oh, they're actually going for a construction take. All right, let me go help the guy in construction. Right? You're gonna be just constantly moving around, like adjusting and reacting to the attacker's pushes, and like you're not actually holding one thing. As for those roles, if you can do that, really anybody could do that as long as you have like the cut role. If you can understand what different cuts to hold, if your IGL tells you to hold it, for example, you're just sitting there holding at that angle, have good reaction time, give call outs. A lurk role, way harder to do. A lot of people troll when they do it. They bait, they don't understand it right, they die. That just comes down to game sense, game knowledge, stuff like that. But generally more focus on the first 5 roles that we mentioned earlier. Those are going to be the main ones you're going to use. But let me know what you guys think. And comment down below, what role do you guys play?